Epidemic, Bigger, Artlist. Now, before all of you Artlist enthusiasts want to flame me down in the comments below, Artlist is so much better, it has so much more choice, it is so much more easy to use. Maybe you want to hear me out. I have been using Artlist now for around 3 months. I've been using Epidemic Sound for over half a year. And while I do love Artlist, there are so many more things about Epidemic Sound that make it a much more better service and much more easy to use, which is why I wanted to kind of compare those two. Not to necessarily flame Artlist, but to kind of maybe give an idea of what Artlist could be if it took the good parts of Epidemic and the good parts of Artlist and fused them together to form the best music subscription service that is out there. Now, I will be using my laptop to kind of showcase what I'm talking about with the magic of screen recording, so you're gonna be able to see as I go along, as I talk about some of the specifics of Epidemic and Artlist, so you can kind of compare right in the screen of the website. All right, let's get started. So before we get to talking about Epidemic versus Artlist, I thought it's maybe a good idea to explain what those things are. So Epidemic and Artlist are two different music subscription services, but they're not like Netflix or something where you listen to music. It's actually for using music. So these are two services for online video creators, also offline video creators if you want to use them for that. But they're mostly tailored at YouTubers, people on Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. So as you can see here, this is Epidemic Sound. It's, as I said, a monthly music subscription service. So you have two options. You have the individual basis, which is going to set you back, I think it's like 13 euro per month, exactly. It costs 13 euro per month, and within those 13 euros you have a lot of different tracks, sound effects, and you can use all of those for social media. You can use it for Facebook, you can use it for YouTube, you can use it for Instagram. I'm not exactly sure if they have Twitter. I think also Twitch and stuff like that. And yeah, you can download as many items as you want. You can use them. You can use them as long as you're subscribed for all kinds of different videos, for all kinds of different productions that you do. And yeah, it's a pretty reasonably priced service for what you get, unlimited music for all of your online video creations. There's also a business subscription that's kind of more aimed at businesses, but that one is much more pricey. It's 130 euro per month, if you can see here. And it's just, for online creators, as a small-time creator, it's really not worth it. I think for that, it's really just the 13 euro. I would recommend. And they also have a 30-day free trial, which I used before I started using them, because it gives you an idea of what the service is. You can also start downloading some of the tracks already. And yeah, would really recommend, if you do it, try the 30-day free trial. Artlist, on the other hand, is a bit more pricey. It's $16.60 per month. I think in euro it's probably the same. It's like 17 euro. Which comes down to, as you can see here, $200 billed annually. So you have to pay those $200 right as you sign up, and you have it for 1 year. Now, Artlist, there's a reason why it is more expensive, and the reason for that is Epidemic Sound is usable for Facebook, it is usable for Instagram, for YouTube, but it's only usable for really these online services. You have to register all of your profiles, whereas with Artlist, you have all of the songs and they are usable for, well, as many services as you want. You can use them for online stuff, you can use them for YouTube, you can use them for Facebook and all of those things. But you can also use them for client work, you can use them for commercials, for example. When I started browsing Artlist, for example, I recognized some songs that I heard earlier in national broadcast TV commercials. And there is a second reason why it's more expensive, and the reason for that is that with Epidemic Sound, you can only really use those songs as long as you're subscribed. So within those 12 months that you subscribe, you can use those songs during that period, but after that, you can still download them, but you cannot use them copyright free, otherwise you will get a copyright infringement claim. Whereas with Artlist, once you download a song within those 12 months, it doesn't matter how many songs you download, it doesn't matter when you're going to use them, you can just use them anytime, really. You can use them in any project afterwards, even 10 years afterwards. That's at least what they promise. That's basically the two reasons why Artlist is slightly more expensive than Epidemic Sound. Alright, with the explanations out of the way, let's dive right into a comparison of different aspects of Epidemic versus Artlist. I want to talk about usability, I want to talk about the search, I want to talk about the music collection, and just kind of a few other things that separate those two. Alright, let's jump into comparison point number one, which is browsing. So browsing in these two services is really different. One feels like browsing through a supermarket. It's very well organized, it's very clean, it's very, sleek. The other one, it feels more like kind of hunting in the forest. You don't really know what you get. You don't really know if you get anything. You have to look for a long time until you can find some food. So first up, let's take a look at Epidemic. This is the starting page of whenever you log in. You have basically this starting page. So you have staff picks. These are, well, songs that are picked by the staff. And what I like about it is that these songs change often. So every time I log in, I don't log in that often, but every time I log in, I get new songs here, which is really, really nice because I can just go in, I can listen, I can see, do I like this song? Yeah, okay, let's download it. And it just gives me always new music to kind of find. Another thing that I really like is this carousel at the top. This is showing you albums and playlists, which are really frequently created on Epidemic actually. I think they have a new album or a new playlist maybe every week, maybe 2 or 3 every week, like this one ASMR. I haven't even seen this yet. And yeah, they are really well organized. They search for a lot of different songs or sound effects in their library and they compile them into nice little playlists for you to explore, and I think that's really nice. Now, this is the supermarket that I said. Now, if you go into Artlist, things look a little bit different. This is the starting page for Artlist. Now, you also got this carousel at the top. Yeah, that is true, but it's not really showing you new albums or new playlists or anything. It's showing you new artists because, you know, it's more geared towards artists, kind of albums and stuff like that, instead of more kind of online creation, in my opinion. But the thing is, you don't know anything about these artists. You only see the pictures. You can maybe guess what kind of the music they do, but you don't really know this. Whereas with playlists on Epidemic, you have a much better idea. My main problem with this browsing that you have on the starting page of Artlist is that you also have staff picks here, like you have with Epidemic, but the staff picks do not really change that often. Like, they change basically whenever a new song is released and staff picks it for there, but that doesn't really happen that often, and oftentimes it's just the same music over and over again. Like from these songs, I've heard all of these before that you can see right now. I've downloaded a couple of these already. You can see here, if I liked it, I did download it, but it's just whenever I start up Artlist, I always get the same songs presented to me. And it's not like I have any, well, easy way to find new music on the starting page other than these new artists. But as I said, you don't really know what kind of music they do, so at the end of the day, it might even just be a kind of waste of time trying to find anything about these artists. I want to talk about a few different other things when it comes to browsing. What I really, really love about Epidemic, and this is probably my favorite feature, is that the browsing is very, very expansive. It's very intuitive as well. You have 4 different options that you can browse by. You can browse by genre, you can browse by mood, movement, I don't really use that, and places as well, which is, I don't know, like countryside, jungle, stuff like that. But you got different genres. For example, you can go into hip-hop and you can do alternative hip-hop, which is something that I often use in my videos. You can use jazz, for example. You can do smooth jazz, which is also something that I use. And it does all of these different kind of subgenres that allow you to search for music really quite easily, quite quickly. You can also search for the energy, whether you want something that's high-paced, whether you want something more slower, whether you want high tempo, low tempo. You can also search for just songs that are shorter or just snippets of songs. And that is really intuitive and it makes it really easy to find stuff. If we go into Artlist, you also have on the side, you have these different, well, mood, you have video theme. You can go into video theme, you can see, for example, travel, road trip. I think it has time lapse as well, and you also have genre and stuff like that. And you can combine these, but I just found that it doesn't really work that well. So you oftentimes just get the same songs presented to you because it's sorted by staff picks every time by default. You can also search by most downloads or even newest. But it doesn't really work that well. But basically the browsing is not as expansive and it's much more limited in my opinion. You have to really search around for a long time before you can find new songs that you really like, in my opinion. It just takes a lot more time than on Epidemic. Now, speaking of finding new songs, there's also search options on both of these. But the search on Epidemic, it feels like Google maybe 2016. So it's kind of intuitive. It's not quite, Google automatically knows what you want to search for. Epidemic doesn't quite know that, but it's pretty good. So as an example here, I recently searched for Spain because I'm doing the Madrid series right now, so I wanted to have some Spanish music in my videos. So if I search for Spain, you can see all of these tracks here if I open them. So yeah, you got the national anthem of Spain. That's obviously a Spain song. And you have, for example, this one, which is La Boqueria. It's a flamenco and it doesn't have anything Spain related in its keywords or in the genre or anything, but Epidemic does understand that this is a Spain song, so it will suggest this to me because, you know, it is actually a nice song and it did actually fit in my video. Now, if I go into Artlist, it feels kind of like Google 1999. It only does semantic search for it. So if I search for Spain and I search for this, well, it gives me 3 songs, and these are all songs that have Spain in their name. So anything other than that, I will have to actually go in and search for myself, which you can find. You can go into genre, and then if you go into Latin or something like that, you can find songs that are Spanish, but it is not as intuitive as Epidemic is, which Epidemic does the work for you, whereas with Artlist you kind of have to go in there, you have to figure out which keywords can I combine, which genres can I combine, which video theme, which instruments do I want in the song. It's just less intuitive, in my opinion. Now, another thing that I love about Epidemic, and that is something that Artlist is really missing, and this is probably one of my most used features in Epidemic, is these little circles that you can see here. This is find similar. So what it will do is, once you found a song that you really like and you think that this is a song that you would use in other videos as well, or a song like this that you would use in other videos as well, you can actually go into find similar and it will find similar songs, and also tracks from the same series. So you can quickly just find other songs that are like this that you would like to use at a different time, or maybe just as an alternative. Artlist doesn't have anything like this, so yeah, the best you can do is you can search, you can see if the artist has something else that sounds like that, but it's again much less intuitive, much more time consuming, and it is something that I really love about Epidemic. Now, I know I've been praising Epidemic a lot, but they've been really doing the browsing in such a nice way that Artlist just cannot compete. So another thing that I love about Epidemic is the way you download songs. Or I should say, it's not really that I love Epidemic, it's just that I hate how Artlist does it. So with Epidemic, it's a pretty straightforward process. You click on download, you can download the full mix, or you can also download stems. Now, stems are different parts of the song. You can, for example, download only drums. Yeah, you can download a guitar, you can download the chorus, you can download, or like the voice. You can download a lot of different things separately. So, for example, if you don't like the drums in one song, you don't have to include them in your video. But other than that, it's really just hitting download mix, and then the song will download. You get it in your downloads or wherever you want to save it. And yeah, pretty straightforward process, right? Now, what does Artlist do? Now, as you can see, I'm here back in the starting screen, and let's say that I want to download a song. So I cannot download the song directly. The only thing that I can do is I can click add to cart, which will put the song into my cart, as you can see up here. You can do this for a lot of different songs. You can do browsing. I think you can have up to 20 songs in there. And if you want to download them, you have to go to your cart, you have to check out, and now the songs will be sent to your email. That's already an annoying process, having to open up your email browser and downloading it from there. You can do a different thing. You can go to your own music, and you will see the last songs that you downloaded, and then you can download them as in different formats. But again, it's just these kind of extra steps. Instead of just hitting one button and then confirming that you want to download it, you have to put it in your card, you have to go to your card, you have to check out, you have to either go to your email to search for the songs, or you have to go, well, to your own music corner and then download it from there. It's just these extra steps that really make Artlist searching for music a much more time-consuming effort than searching for music on Epidemic Sound. Now, another point of major annoyance for me, at least with Artlist, is that if you do browsing and you go through like a list of songs, for example, you pick a genre, you pick a theme or something like that, and you go through a lot of different songs, what happens is that after like maybe the 6th, 7th, 8th song or something, the songs start playing with a bit of a delay, and it kind of gets worse and worse as long as you keep browsing. Now, I don't have any proof for why that happens, but what I think is that Artlist kind of preloads more of the song than you listen to. So if you listen to 10 seconds, because normally you don't know if you like the song or not, but let's say you listen to it for 10 seconds, you stop, you go to the next song, and so on. I think it actually preloads more, and I think that kind of bandwidth that gets used is kind of what prevents the other songs from loading as quickly, and it gets really frustrating after a while because you keep browsing and then you have to wait. Sometimes I have to wait for like 15 seconds until a new song loads, and it's just something really annoying because you kind of lose a lot of time when you're browsing for a lot of different songs. Losing 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, you lose a couple of minutes every day if you want to browse through those songs. And yeah, it's just really an annoying thing that doesn't really happen on Epidemic. Sometimes you have to wait for a little bit, but it's not something that happens every time when I browse through songs. Now, another major advantage advantage of Epidemic Sound, and also the reason why a lot of online creators use it, is that you have sound effects that you can use in your video. So you have anything from a cat screeching to a seagull to a PC hitting the ground. And you have a lot of these different sound effects that you can use, which is something that Artlist does not have. So I think they have 60,000 sound effects, and again, with the intuitive search, it makes it really easy to find them, and I often use them in my videos because I don't have the sound that I want. Yeah, I can just find it here on Epidemic and use it in my video. And lastly, another advantage that I want to talk about is kind of the 30-day trial. That was really helpful for me deciding whether I want to use the service or not. Throughout the 30-day trial, you can just download as many songs as you want. You can use them in your videos as long as you have your YouTube or your Instagram or whatever linked to Epidemic. You can do that in your settings, and you can use your videos as you would normally with a normal subscription for 30 days. And I think that's a really great service, something that Artlist is missing, because for Artlist you cannot really try it out. You can still try out the music. You can download kind of low quality previews as far as I'm aware. Now, as far as music choice goes, Epidemic Sound is really geared towards online creators, towards YouTubers, towards Instagrammers, Facebook people and stuff like that. So the music will be a bit more lightweight, it will be a bit more easy to consume, it will be very like vloggy, it will be very online creatory, if that is a word. Whereas with Artlist, the music is more geared towards, well, it's also for online creators, but it's also geared towards, well, commercial work, towards commercials and stuff like that. So the music will be a bit more high quality in a sense. It just feels a bit more serious, a bit more dramatic, cinematic in a sense. And I think that's one of the advantages of Artlist, and also one of the reasons why a lot of people use it, because the music is just a bit more high quality than Epidemic Sound, which can be a bit more fluff, a bit more, well, cheapish. It's not really cheap, but it's still a bit more, well, lightweight. So now at the end of the video, you might be asking yourself which one is best for me. Is it Epidemic Sound or is it Artlist? And I think the answer to that comes down to, do you only want to create videos online, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, whatever? In that case, I think Artlist is the much better choice, because you have much easier browsing, you have a selection that is really geared towards you, you have all of these different playlists that are geared towards online creators, you have sound effects that you can use, you have an easy search system where you can also search for similar songs, and I think all of these reasons make really Epidemic Sound the more approachable choice for online video creators, and it's also cheaper, €4 per month. Now, on the other hand, if you want to do online creation, but you also want to do commercial work, you want to work with clients, you want to work on commercials, you want to do maybe short films or stuff like that, I think in that case Artlist is definitely the way to go, because you get kind of most of the stuff that you get in Epidemic Sound. You get the music for online video creation, and just for €4 additional per month you get all of this other use cases, commercial work, short films, whatever it is. And I think in that case Artlist is better. Now, for me personally, it might sound a bit weird after praising Epidemic Sound for the last 10 minutes or so, that I will just basically stick with Artlist, because exactly for that reason I want to use one service for both commercial work and online creation. Now, I wouldn't mind paying the extra €13 or whatever it is for Epidemic Sound to use for my online video creation. It's just that I want to use one service and browse as many different songs there and build up a library from that, instead of kind of building a library from 2 different services, which is what I'm doing right now. That's why I want to only use Artlist, build up a library that I can use in my online videos, that I can use in client work, and also have this library forever, because that's what Artlist is promising us, well, at least promising. And so I can use these songs 10 years down the road as well. If I fall on hard times, I don't have money, well, I can still use those songs. That doesn't work with Epidemic Sound. So I hope you liked this little comparison video of Epidemic Sound versus Artlist. If you did, thumbs up would help. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe for more. Every Wednesday there's going to be a filmmaking geared video, and then on Sunday there's always a travel video. So you get both, you get travel, you get filmmaking, combined you get ad and read feed, my channel. And also let me know which online music video subscription service you use, whether you use Artlist, whether you use Epidemic Sound, whether you use something else like MusicBed or something, and let me know what you like about it, what you dislike, and whether you're considering changing as well, because I think it's always interesting to see what other people are thinking. Just my opinion that Epidemic Sound is better than Artlist. Maybe some other people think differently. And yeah, with that said, I hope you liked the video, and then see you next time.